Hi, we are here at Covo Club in Bologna with Jonathan of Shearwater.
Hello.
Thank you for taking the time to taking us in. We are straight from the shower of the venue, a very cozy place indeed.
This is the kind of huge green room that we're used to.
It's like setting basically like every place it's worth trying to.
Exactly.
So it's like beside the usual question, have you ever done an interview in the toilet?
I have never done an interview in the toilet before.
So technically speaking, as much can be considered as the first time.
No, exactly. Yes, it is. Although it's funny that back when we toured with Coldplay, I remember they called somebody called from their website to interview me, and it was. We were in Los Angeles and he was calling from UK, and it was midnight and I was standing in the bathroom. I had just got out of the shower and he was interviewing me.
So technically, at the cost of something a little bit creepy, have you ever done like a live with the interviewer in person in the shower?
No, first time. Yes, it's very special.
That's probably another way to put it down actually.
No.
Like, dude, it's kind of creepy. I was wondering, straight to the chase basically.
Yes.
The last album, we truly loved it. It's brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
We said actually you should be like, you should really be big by now already, because that's the type of like it's always not cool like dropping names, but the league that you put yourself with this last album, in my opinion, is like the Arcade Fire, National. You're not the same kind of band, but the type of like feeling that you give to the people who listen, this rock, but with this grandeur or this epica even in it. So it's like seriously bad. And it's quite a cut and a clear cut from your previous experience, the stuff you have been doing before. So Gran Archipelago, Rook, and stuff like that. I was wondering, have you noticed like a change in the crowd that goes to your concerts?
A little bit. I mean, there's been more people this year, but a lot of people have still been with us for a long time. I mean, everything with this band has always been small improvements. Like every year it gets a little bit better. So there hasn't been a huge change this year exactly, but there are definitely more people everywhere.
So that's it became more spread. You mean like you're more out there? It's spread out basically more than the previous one.
Yeah, everywhere we go, there are more people now. Not like selling out crazy, or anything, but there's more. And we're going to do a new record next year, and we're going to keep going. So hopefully, we took.
Would you say that would be still on the path that you embark with the Animal Joy, or could be like another change?
The next record?
Yeah.
No idea.
Everything.
No idea. I'm just starting working on new songs right now. I have some really terrible ideas, and a couple of good ones, and we'll see. It always starts like this.
I was wondering if, like, of course, you're like basically the Deus Ex Machina of the group. Like, you are basically Shearwater.
Yeah.
But even like in this last album, there was a little bit change of a lineup.
Yes.
Some new people come in, some other bandmates left or go somewhere else. I was wondering, like, does change? I mean, obviously, it changed the live experience in terms of like chemistry and getting along, even like on stage. But in the creative process, like, do you like let other people involved?
Oh yeah, it's fun. I mean, I'm sort of the mastermind for the records with the engineer, but it's really fun to bring in other people. And work on parts together, and work for a few days. Then they go away, and then you chop it up and make sense out of it one way or another. I'm sure I'll work with Kimberly and Thor again, who've been in the band forever, on the next record, as well as these guys that I'm working with right now and have been playing with all year. And you haven't seen us this year, right?
No, that's the first time I see it.
I'm really excited about
new album.
This lineup is really, really good. They've got so much power and energy, and it's really exciting. It's become kind of this big rock band that I've always wanted to be in. And
like a long time, like dreaming from a teenager kind of.
Yeah, I mean, I used to daydream when I was a little kid. When I was trying to fall asleep, I would lie in bed and imagine like playing guitar in a band. But like the other people in the band were like the characters from Voltron or something.
I think the only thing missing would be like the leather bracelet. It's kind of like you can put like your feet on the guitar like.
Oh yeah, the look, thank God we don't get everything we want,
that's the thing, like, we add like tour by tour, like, that's for the future. Otherwise, you cannot give like right away everything. You just like to build until like some sort of like, at the end you have like a mohawk or something like that.
Well, it could be.
The time of line. I was on, you mentioned like collaborating with Thor and Kimberly and other people. Yes. It's kinda, I know like you collaborated recently with Jamie from Shushu.
Oh yeah, that was great.
That's a super cool guy, like kinda like
yeah, I just wanted to know what he was like to work with, So we talked about that for record for a while, and finally I just booked him a ticket to come to Texas and record. We didn't talk about it.
Was just like a blank check.
I picked him up at the airport. We never even talked on the phone about it. I'd picked him up at the airport, and I thought, well, we'll talk about it before we go into the studio tomorrow.
So you said it happened out of mutual respect, or you kind of like share friends, or you just like we made each other fan?
We toured together.
Ah, okay.
So we got to know each other that way. But so then I took him back to my place and made dinner, and we didn't talk about it. And then I thought, well, we'll talk about it, I guess, in the morning before we go to the studio. We were driving up to Dallas to go to the studio, and we still hadn't talked about it halfway to Dallas. And I thought, well, but 5 minutes from the studio, I was kind of like, Jamie, what are we going to do? And he said, oh, well, do you have anything? I was like, do you have anything?
Do you think there was like a label behind it, like, for the project, or just you outside for the
There was a small label called Graveface who was willing to pay a little bit for it. It was very cheap, we just had very little money to do it, but it meant that we were totally free to do whatever we wanted.
Kind of sounds the story, like the song by Soulwax and the girl from LCD Sound System. They made a song like in New York City Excuse. So they just there was like the label behind them. They forced them to go like in a studio. They said like, oh yeah, we team up Soulwax, electro from Europe with LCD Sound System, kind of electro from US. And the anthem of the song was like, this is the excuse that you making, you paying, because that was the label paying them, and they couldn't come up with any no lyrics or something. I don't know exactly the story, but they just made a song, New York Excuse, in which they said like. This is an excuse that we're making. Is it good enough for what you're paying? You're paying. That's like I wonder like when like the producer or the label guy like, I think that we have to pay for it. Otherwise it wouldn't work.
I guess exactly. Well, in our case, I mean, we wrote, recorded, and mixed the whole album in a week.
So it was like
Blue Water, White Death.
Easy and clean.
Which is totally different from the way that he makes Shushu records and that I make Shearwater records. I mean, we take a long time on those.
Would you say because you kind of like take a lift out of his shoulder? Because usually, his level are quite a lot personal. Yes. I would say. So like maybe like working with some other like with like a, okay, Shushu is a project. He has band members, but it's kind of that's him. Maybe with another guy, like a fellow musician, like a fellow singer, maybe out of respect. It was really fun. I mean, we made a bunch of music, and then we assigned each other different songs. It's like, okay, you write the lyrics to this one, I'll write the lyrics to this one, you sing this one, I sing this one. And we didn't have any time to go back and fix anything, so we had to get it right the first time. The first cut, basically.
Yeah, it was really fun. It was a lot of people hate that record, but I think it's great. I love that record.